Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Let's watch and see what happens. Keep in mind that everything I say is completely speculative based on the edit, so let's watch.
Last couple of days, but today kind of just solidified it. It didn't change.
Okay, good. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to spend as much time with you as I can.
I feel the same way about it.
And I don't want to cast aspersions to anyone, particularly to Lauren, but I think it is potentially notable that on the heels of him saying, "You were never high on my list," or no, he said, "I never had you super low on my list," right? But today I'm like, whoa, I guess that's the name of the game. It's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have a list, and you're always trying people out, right? It's what everyone's doing. I mean, Lauren might have other people that she has on her list that's just not in the edit. They haven't shown us anything like that yet, but so it's not like he's a jerk face. But it is notable that it stung and nothing changed for her. But that's ridiculous, because if she's connecting with him, then, you're just going to see it through rose-colored glasses, and or she, of course, knows a lot more about him than I do.
Who are you talking to? Oh, yeah. It's going really well. Yes.
But I just get in my head about the fact that he has other people. But
I haven't heard of anyone talking about him, though.
So Molly is telling her friend in the lounge that she's connecting with Dave. She whispered it. I don't know if you caught that. And we've seen this in previous seasons, that depending on the season, there's varying levels of secretiveness, not because people are trying to withhold or lie or deceive, but I think it's an agreement for the sake of harmony between everyone. Because if everyone says who they're connecting with, people, oh, I didn't even know that he was dating other people, or I knew he was dating someone, but now that I know it's you, every time I see you, it's going to be kind of hard and confused. What do I do? And it's just easier just to keep it to yourself. I think particularly earlier or maybe midweek, because early in the week, no one's really connecting, or very few are. So maybe this is kind of a midweek thing, mid-10-day thing. I don't know. But she is telling her friend here and quietly. And the other thing is, we're hearing from the other person that Molly's talking to. I forget her name. We've seen a bit of her, and I've taken notes on her. I can't remember which one she is. But the other individual is saying, yeah, I haven't heard anyone talking about a connection with Dave, so maybe you're on your own or something like that. Because Molly was saying that knowing that Dave is dating other women is getting to her.
No, they've been secretive, but I know who it is. Who is it?
Okay, interesting. So Molly says she knows that Dave is dating Sarah, and we haven't seen any of that. I don't think we've seen any of Sarah's footage, which makes you think that she doesn't make it to the getaway. But we know that there are connections, sometimes fairly deep connections, that are not shown in the edit at all. So I'm going to take a guess and say that Sarah and Dave are, and Dave says something curious in a previous date. He was saying to Lauren that what did he say? He said something like, I never had you super low on my list, or something like that. And I'm thinking, okay, well, in the edit, we've only seen 2. So you wouldn't phrase it that way if you just had 2, right? It sounds like there's multiple people on his list, which, that's what they're there to do, depending on the day, right? I am noticing now that they have some awesome snacks in that lounge that we don't normally see. They got Pringles and Oreos and beef jerky. I'm hungry.
I probably shouldn't have said that. How was your date, Lauren?
I feel like he was
And then on cue, Lauren walks up, who just got out of a date with Dave, and Dave was saying that he was putting Lauren higher on the list.
Are you confused about this person, or are you?
No, I'm not confused, but being reminded that he had other dates today, that just didn't feel good.
You can't let other people's connections get in the way because
know.
like that's what will you over.
I know.
Do you feel comfortable talking about who it is?
Who my top is? I don't.
I mean, eventually everyone's going to find out. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not like Lauren and Molly are going to try to scratch each other's eyes out or anything. So there's that. But the tension, and I'm guessing they're including this in the edit because something happens. Maybe not now, but later.
I don't know. I'm like nervous to open that, so
I get that.
Yeah, we just be saying shit. I think the people that are still seeing my person know now that I'm seeing him, so I feel like at this point I don't care.
wait, I don't know.
So I think Lauren is just about to say, "Oh my God, me too." So okay, I mean they're playing the ominous music, but that's what they're there for. And I think a lot of people have multiple connections, so I have faith in Lauren and Molly. Although a good number of times on this show, when there's this kind of scenario, it is not great for everybody.
Dave.
Got it.
Oh, I thought she heard and she was getting her arm up to say, "Oh my God, me too." But she tells, and then Lauren doesn't reciprocate, which is interesting because I think most people would think Lauren should reciprocate in that moment. Unless Lauren thinks that she's a clear second. It's just a weird situation, right? We don't have culture around what to do in a situation like this, right? Because we don't normally see, I mean, people do sometimes, right? But it would be weird. And in the real world, yeah, if they told you, then you should reveal it too, right? Particularly if you're friendly. But in the pods, it's a completely different set of criteria, completely different set of ethics, right? Molly volunteered that pretty readily, and that's her prerogative, but it's also Lauren's prerogative to not say. Lauren could also just be shocked of just like, and hadn't really thought it through. Like, what if she says Dave? Am I going to? So, I haven't watched ahead, obviously, so I'm going to make a prediction. Who do I think Dave will pick? Which is a bit of a juicy prospect in that we get to see. I'm always interested in seeing people out of the pods because more data, I guess. The fact that Leo and everyone, including me, laments that Brittany and Leo didn't go to the getaway or whatever, the honeymoon. I always want to say honeymoon, but it's like the opposite. Anyway, it's not the opposite. Point is who, if any one of these individuals would Dave pick, what I think based. I guess Molly is probably, well, I don't know. After that date with Lauren, I will say, I didn't say this, but Lauren didn't know that Dave's mom had died, which I think indicated that Dave and Lauren, up until that date that we saw recently, had not really had a lot of in-depth conversations, or maybe not even had as many dates as him and Molly. Anyway, I would not put much money down. I would put like $1 that he's going to pick Molly. But I don't know. Well, it's interesting. They have different vibes that one, and two, I think he's receiving different vibes, the way that they gel. And I think from Lauren, he's getting like a mother vibe, a self-sacrificial vibe, or at least that's what I'm getting. And I think from Molly, he's getting more of a wild, fun, peer kind of, equal person, sexual. So that's interesting. And similar to Shane, between Shayna and Natalie. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to pan out. And then I'm going to take a guess and say that Molly and Lauren are nice enough to each other that it's not that big of a deal between the two of them, but we'll find out.
I have a husband.
Oh my God.
So Molly just said, I have a husband. That's the name of this episode. I was wondering, when I first saw that title of the episode, I thought, wait, is one of the cast members going to reveal that they are married currently? But I thought, that doesn't make sense. And I figured it was something like this, where someone was like, I have a husband. So Molly is saying she feels pretty confident. And Lauren's like, oh no. And I think they have sneakily edited this to make it look like they're more in contention. But I don't know. But I think Dave probably, if we saw more footage, that Dave and Molly are very much more connected, deeper conversations, more talk of the future of the two of them. And then that last date with Lauren, he was just kind of in his feels a little bit and might have spoken too soon, or he was speaking in the moment, when in reality he still very much has Molly as his number one. That's just my guess. All right, that's the end of the first episode. Sometimes in the first episode, or the first few episodes, there's almost nothing for me to react to. There will be little details of people's history, or there'll be a little funny moment or something. But this season, I don't know. I'm guessing, I don't think I've ever had so much to talk about in the first episode. And by the way, I took notes on some other individuals and didn't actually react, didn't publish it. A lot of detail about people's lives, like Alex talking about how he was bullied. He says, quote, I have really bad ADHD. He was like relentlessly bullied. And also Madison, the painter, was also talking about the details she's given about her childhood. She says, quote, I had a rough childhood. And she gave some details about, I think, drug and alcohol addiction and estrangement. I won't go into details. If Madison and Alex end up moving forward, I'll review that on camera. But there was a lot. In fact, I think of the individuals I've taken the most notes on, aside from Dave, Madison and Alex have a lot. Not that they have issues, not that they have red flags, but they just talked a lot about their history, and there were a lot of notable bits of there. And I also got a little bit of stuff on, that sounds bad. Mason and Meg also gave me some food for thought. Daniel and his white vans, and Taylor, and then Joey and Monica, a fair amount on Joey as well. He describes himself as having golden retriever energy. So yeah, I wonder if Joey and Monica will be that couple that gets engaged and we can feel good about it. Daniel and Taylor, I could see them also having that. But in terms of Dave, he is interested in Molly and Lauren, as we know, and apparently also Sarah to some extent. And then there's a whole kind of group. We have Alex and Mason of the dudes, and then Meg and Madison. There's some kind of multiple triangles developing there, so we'll find out what happens there. I wouldn't be surprised if Madison and Alex end up together, because they, at least in the edit, and they seem to understand each other. But I could also see Madison going for Mason, because maybe Mason presents, the cinematographer, because Mason presents as, I don't want to say more stable, but maybe the safer choice given what is being presented. Not that Alex seems like a very safe dude, but I don't know what's going through Madison's head. But anyway, you probably already know what she does. I have yet to find out, and it's late, and I'm going to wrap up and hang out with my wife. I usually stay up a lot later than she does, so it's her bedtime. So I'll probably be tucking her in and kissing her goodnight, and then I hang around the house and do other things and try to keep quiet. And I try to walk really carefully, because our bedroom is directly below my office. Anyway, that's information that you probably didn't care to know or need to know. But, all All right, y'all. Episode 2. Let's go to bed and wake up tomorrow and watch that. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.